Hi guys, welcome to Fairy and Stash's Adventures. We're here at the Donald Cemetery in Victoria. It's a lovely little town. We're only stayed a couple nights here and we'll be coming back for sure. There's a lot of history in the area, but I'll turn you around and we'll have a look at the graves. Okay, now there is some very old ones, and I do have information on some of the original. So this is Eileen Cooper, wife of Francis Miller, who died 1877. And there is a lovely saying on there, but it's very hard to read. And the other one is Francis Miller, 1882. Now the wind has been coming and going. That looks like a small grave here. It does have writing on, so it was Albert, in loving memory of Albert, but I can't really see a lot. But that's, you've got the lawn cemetery down there, that's the stash, and then you've got lawn cemetery there, so I'll be not worrying about the lawn cemetery. I think Rascal or them are on the horn in the car looking at me. So if you hear a beep, that's what it is. Okay, I might just come in a little bit more. So this is Alexander Akins and also his wife. So 1989, 1902, 1954 and 1941. So that's not old. Oops, should have brought my walking stick, I think. 38. Okay, here we have Henry Cummings, died 1903, gone from those who loved him, gone to a brighter home. And then we've got Henry, 1897, William, 1899, and Clarence, 1901, safe in the arms of Jesus. Now here we have Neil Ferguson, native of Argyllshire, Scotland, 1897. And that's a really lovely headstone with the thistle, the Scottish thistle up the top there. It's very, and here's one who's got wrought iron, but unfortunately a lot of it is broken. And we've got the cloth over, John Alexander, 1897, and also John, and it looks like someone's tried to go over it, but it's very hard to see. So there's an unknown here. Well, not unknown, he's known to the spirits and the Summerland or heaven. Here's a fence and there's a gate there. and the crypt. And this is Dougal and Anne McCormick in lovely memory of their son Neil, who died 1896, and Dougal, who died 1906, and Anne 1907. They steered their course to the narrow shore, not parted long, not part to part no more. So here's one, unfortunately with no name, but there is a very good historical site in Donald, and they do tours of the cemetery, I believe. I'm still finding out information. This is John Mackenzie, 1898, and Kate Mackenzie, 1885. So it is quite a large cemetery. I don't know how far I'll get today, but like I said, we'll be coming back. We found a nice little caravan park. It's run by the local football club. This is very hard to read, so I'll just bring it down. So we do have, there is a local railway museum here. So when we come back, we'll have a look at that one. This is obviously a family one. Very ornate iron. And obviously he was German, yes. In the sacred memory of Eugen Heinrich Meyer, born at Holzland, Germany, 1825, and died at Donald, 1881. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favour rather than silver and gold. So that has that, and then you have the urn and the cloth over it, in loving memory of John August Meyer, native of Holsten, Germany, husband of Charlotte, 1897, and Charlotte, 1933. Oops, sorry, I hope you saw that. I'll just go back up again. And also Lena, their daughter, 1937. In memory of Anna Dora Bianch. Okay. Gerberstein, Stein, which is a part of Germany, 1993. And the rest are really, well, I don't know German a lot. Augustine Emily, 1908, and Anna died in 1893 at 80 years old. And then we've got Frederick Besch, March 1897. Now you will get noise, we're next to one of the highways, and here's May Branch. I'm probably saying that wrong, I do apologise. 1926. So there's more over there. Frederick William Oldnet, 1896, and Elizabeth Spring, 1903. Okay, like I said, I do not know how much. Treasured Memories, Eileen Elise. And W. Morgan there. So and then we have in memory of the parents, Marianne Board and Joseph Board, 1894 and 1897, and 1936. Okay, and there's more there. Oh, we have the urn up the top with the full wreath. Oh, might just put it up a little bit so we can see. Fond memory of Godfrey Morgan, 1891, and their daughter Agnes, and also Mary, 1927. Okay, so they just have private graves here, so I don't know why they're okay. So this is Shriver Adolf Otto, 1956. Over here, I've got to so what does it say here? Graves in a circle. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming they mean those ones there. They're sort of in a circle. But we'll look at this one. Anne Davies, 1884. Maria, 1960. It's not 1960, she was 67. Do put 1900. 1875. I don't have my glasses. Peace be thy slumbers, peaceful in thy bed so low. Thou no more will join our numbers, thou no more will sing we know. And also Thomas, who died at Bunnyong at 1916, a colonist of 69 years. Now there is a plaque around here, and quite often it's done by the family. No? So it's Coates in memory of Robert, who died at the Beasley Bridge, not 1874. And Samuel, born in Devon, 1878, father of Catherine, husband of Catherine, father of Robert Samuel Augustus. So, yes. Don't know why they put things in a circle. That'll just confuse me. This is Jack. Okay. Arthur Moore, 1873. Now there's some over here who are definitely very old, I would say. They are. Now this is an earlier family. And I'm just gonna bring in a bit more so we can read. Christina McPherson, born at Langwilly, Skipton, and died in Bonnydoon, Donald, 1913. And then we have this one that is very hard to read because of the lichen and the damage done. And it looks like someone's tried to clean it, and yeah, unfortunately they might have done a bit more damage. And this is John McPherson, born at Langwilly, Skipton, 1860, died at Donald, 1929. Okay, I'm just going to go for a walk and show more graves and more, because it is quite a large cemetery. I did not realize how large it was. As you can see, it's, so this coming in is the Methodist, and that, so we might just take a little wander around. So it says, and there's all little seats around here, which is great, mainly if you're doing family history and that and looking for somebody, or just doing so. This one is a lone pine. Now all these lone pines were originally from a pine tree from Gallipoli. Now you couldn't bring it in, but at that time they brought in some seeds, and then the RSL then propagated them, and therefore there's a lot of graves, a lot of the shrines of remembrance, and that has a pine from Gallipoli. which was one of the biggest war disasters, and there was just so many things wrong. Okay, so this is Methodist and others. So there's newer ones and older ones. So I'm just going to go through, and this one is more, it looks like it's quite, so obviously the top comes off and it's an above crypt, and that stone comes off and then the caskets are laid in. But with all the lichen on there, it would be impossible to see any writing. I'm sure this one probably had something on top. Okay, so Evelyn Barker, 1922, and Joseph Barker, and Flora Barker. So there is old ones and new ones mixed. So we'll just keep walking, and I'll just show what I can. Now this one here looks like it was a large family area, and there is an earlier, a newer one, but I hope to find out who the rest. There is some graves that don't have any. And this is 1921, 1946. And then you have, someone went this time and put some bricks around this one. This one has the urn on the top. Fond memory of Elizabeth Ann, who died 1990, and Richard, who died in Geelong 1925, as Hancock's. And it's quite possible that the one next to him could be a Hancock, and maybe not. And here we've got one who, just has totally degraded, although with, I think, a light, which I didn't bring. It looks like 1821. That's about all I can see. And maybe Thomas somebody. And, yeah, unfortunately, there's a grave here marked out by bricks, and possibly another one. This is Thomas Beckham, 1885, and Elizabeth, 1970, and Priscilla, 1875. So there is some that has just bricks around, and there's a very old one over here. I'm going to, it looks like an old red gum one. If it is, it needs to be protected. There was a lot of old red gum and that used, and yeah, that will be lost in a few years. I hope they know who it is. You can see some, it looks like Otto, but it would have been, so that would be one of the oldest, I would say. Okay, we're going up a bit of a hill, so I'm going to be huffing and puffing a bit. You know me. So here's some here. Oh, I do have to be careful because sometimes I feel like I'm walking over people. I'm sure they'll tell me if they don't. Okay, this is a Herbert Smith. Joseph Green, 1915, and Sarah, 1933. This one is a book, and it's actually for a little child, Stanley Green, 1914. And back here, I'm just going to see if I can, yeah. So that's Eliza, Dial and Thomas, oops, sorry, and Robert and Isabella. So, and if we go over here, we have a grave with a memorial. And it's a square one, which I have seen before, but they're often wrecked. But this one is in quite good condition. So I'm just going to go back a little bit so I'm not blasting out people. So the greens, some no names. Then we might come across here because, oh, have to just sidestep this one. Okay, this is John Geek, born at St. Germans, England, died at Devon Park, Donald, 1884. And that has a nice urn. Then we have the spire. It's very hard to read, that gold writing. And then we have Mary Tolkien, 1881, and Jane Tolkien, 1893. And then we got Violet, and we've seen that one. So it's quite large. The only way I would do this would take a couple of days, and I would drone some of it because it is a lot to walk. Here's some more with just the bricks around. Okay, there's another large one here with the urn. This is quite, I would say this is a family. I'm just going to bring it up a bit. No, I still can't see it. Might see it better on the computer when I there's nothing on this side. Oh, so this is Richard Moore, who died 1905. God saw when his footstep faltered and when his heart grew weary. I can't read that without mucking up, guys, so I'm not going to. There's one here. There's one at the back there. I might just, oh no, we can see that. 1889. There's another one here with bricks. So the volunteers who look after the graveyard, oh, it's not a graveyard, it's a cemetery, are doing quite well. They really look after it. They do have a cleanup coming up. If I was not going, if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, I would stay a couple of extra days, come up, because they're doing a tour and history and all that, which will be great. So 1990. This one has an anchor on it. And this one, James Bento in St. Stephen's, Cornwall, 1887, and Julia, 1915. So there's a lot of little ones with just the bricks around and that, so I'm just picking out ones that I feel look good and ones that have obviously been redone by families. This one here is very worn, but I think you Beneshk by the look of it. And this one definitely has been redone. Obviously descendants have come and found them and redone. I hope to do that with my great-great-grandmother, who unfortunately died of burns. This one is Amelia, born at St. Germans, Cornwall, and died 1897. And also her husband, William Nicholas Longman Pierce, born at South Pethren, Cornwall, England, and he died in 1906. And we have the urn and that. It is it is quite lovely. So I'm just going to keep walking. Oops, don't break an ankle, because at the moment Stash can't see me. He's over the hill there somewhere. So it's just such, might just turn that down a bit because it is just such, and like I said, you'd have to spend a couple of days here and go around, and I would actually drone some of it just so I could see this looks like graves here. That one definitely looks like a grave. So we've got 1903 here with the little cross. We'll start heading back. There's one over there I'd like to see, but so I'd say there's a few areas where there is. It'd be interesting because I know one historical society, I think it was in Western Australia, hired a sonar, and they actually found a lot of graves. They knew they were there, they just didn't know where. So okay, I'm going to stop for a little while